Imagine the situation that you have a family which moves from one country to another. And this family has a bunch of kids, and those kids grow up in this family. At first, they're only exposed to the language spoken in the family. Let's say if we look at the United States, it could be a Korean or a Russian family living in New York, and the kid listens to Korean or to Russian. But then this kid starts going outside and playing with other kids. Then the kid goes to preschool and starts learning some English, no matter how hard the parents try not to expose that kid to English at first. So at some point, the kid becomes bilingual in the home language and in the English that's spoken around him or her. And eventually, what happens is that the kid becomes more dominant in English, and their Russian or Korean becomes much weaker, to the point that sometimes when children are in middle school, they stop speaking the home language and start talking to their parents in English. And parents still try to talk to them in the home language. So this is the breakdown of communication. So the end point of this bilingualism is what's called heritage language. So essentially it's a form of bilingualism which is known as receptive or recessive bilingualism. In an ideal world, you would imagine that being bilingual means knowing two languages really, really equally well. But it's almost like the notion of an ideal husband, which is non-existent probably. So even if someone is very stably bilingual, one of the languages wins, and so they know one for like 51% and the other for 49%. And you can usually tell by seeing what people do in those languages when they count or when they're scared. This is when you see the dominant language at work. So heritage language is the phenomenon of recessive bilingualism, when one of the two languages becomes much, much weaker. But what makes those languages special is that the heritage language is the language which is acquired first, started at birth. So the dominant language is the one that comes in second or even third and kicks out the previous languages.